Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, your sister and host Sidramin is once again here with you to present the story of a Japanese girl who accepted Islam. Today's story is about a girl who says that she got guidance towards Islam just because of the Christian schools where she went in childhood. But how did that surprising thing happen? Let's know the details from herself.
When I think about my experience of accepting Islam, the same thought comes to my heart again and again. If my childhood had not gone through Christian education, perhaps I would not have been able to understand Islam so easily today. The truth is that Christianity opened a path before me, but that path led me to Islam. My childhood was spent in a Catholic kindergarten in Japan. Even though I was a small child, I felt a strange peace from the church environment, the prayers, and the religious teachings. After that, I continued my education in Protestant Christian schools, middle school, and then high school. In those institutions, religious education was compulsory. There we were taught the Bible. We were told about Jesus, peace be upon him. We were made to memorize prayers, and we were also trained in morals and ethics. Despite all that, there was an ache in my heart. Many times I could not understand some parts of the Bible, especially the idea that Jesus, peace be upon him, is he God or the Son of God? That concept confused my mind. I used to think, if God is one, then why is someone else considered to share divinity with him? But because I was still young, I couldn't find answers to these questions. At that time, I thought that Islam and Christianity are completely opposed to each other, as if believers of the two are enemies. But when I began to learn about Islam, I discovered an amazing truth that changed my thinking. I learned that in Islam, Jesus, peace be upon him, is also regarded as a prophet of Allah. He is honored and considered one of the chosen messengers. Allah is believed to be one, and associating anyone with Allah is considered the greatest unforgivable sin. Hearing this made my heart move. I felt that this was the very point I had been missing in Christianity. After that, things about Islam began to become easier for me. The knowledge I had received from Christian schools became a source for understanding Islam. I realized that many elements of the two religions are connected, but in Islam, those points are clearer, more straightforward, and more logical. The very first and greatest truth that entered my heart was the oneness of Allah, the realization that the Creator is only one, He has no partner, and there is nothing like Him. This struck me deeply. That conception gave comfort to my heart and granted me peace. Then I studied the basic principles of Islam. I learned that Islam means submitting to Allah, living according to His commands. It is not about following a personality or a particular people, it is for all humanity. The most important declaration is there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the final prophet of Allah. That declaration is the foundation. It is the axis on which the whole religion stands. When I read about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, I felt great reassurance. I was surprised to learn that he always spoke the truth and never lied. There was no defect in his character. Above all, he was a human, not an angel or a deity. That strengthened my conviction that he was truly a messenger sent by Allah. Then I studied the Quran. I was astonished to find that the Quran has been preserved in its original form to this day. It has not been altered, and even modern scientific knowledge does not contradict its truths. I felt that this could not be the product of human imagination or dreams. It had to be revelation from Allah. We also studied the angels. What I remember most is that angels sit on human shoulders. One records good deeds and the other records bad deeds. The idea that everything a person does is being recorded and will be presented on the day of judgment shook me. I also learned about the angel who will blow the trumpet. At one blast, everything will end, and at another blast, everything will begin again. That image stayed with me. I also learned that angels have no choice. They obey Allah's command completely. But human beings were given choice, the freedom to choose between good and evil. That is true freedom. Yet, with that freedom comes responsibility. One must be accountable for one's choices. That struck me deeply. Then I studied Allah's books, the Torah, the Psalms, the Gospel, and the Quran. After that, we learned about the prophets and the messengers. I learned that prophets acted as examples and role models by embodying the message, whereas messengers had the responsibility to convey the message to others. A notable feature is that they were all honest and righteous. They were beings of good, intentionally not rebelling against Allah. But it was also emphasized that prophets are human and do not escape death. That was interesting to me. Prophets are not angels, they die like other humans. I came to understand that Islam is not a new religion, but the continuation and completion of the previous messages. I also learned about the prophets and messengers of God. It amazed me to know that God sent 124,000 prophets, yet only 25 are mentioned by name in the Quran, such as Noah, Abraham, Moses, Shazas, and finally Muhammad, peace be upon him. Learning about the day of judgment made me tremble inside. To realize that death is not the end, but that every soul will be resurrected and held accountable. That shook my soul. To know that the righteous will enter paradise and the wrongdoers will be sent to hellfire. It made me reflect deeply about my own life. Then I studied the concept of destiny. The idea that God already knows everything, that nothing is hidden from Him, yet still gives human beings the freedom to choose. It was a powerful and humbling realization. When I reflected on the universe, I was amazed at how perfectly everything is balanced. The tilt of the earth, its distance from the sun, everything is so precisely arranged that life is possible. This strengthened my faith that all of this could never be by chance, but is proof of a creator's wisdom. One Quranic phrase stuck with me. Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. We discussed three interpretations. 1. Humans are given good by default, and unless they change themselves for the worse, Allah will not change them to worse. 2. Bad situations will not improve unless humans try to improve them. 3. Only a person can change themselves. Others cannot change them. Because of this teaching, I have felt calmer. I feel that everything is entrusted to Allah. And while sad things happen in the world, I do not remain in constant despair. That is not an excuse to be indifferent or to condone harm. Rather, it helped me stop turning sorrow into anger at others. I felt I could let go of some of that burden. Slowly, my heart became satisfied. I felt my journey had reached its destination. Then came the moment when I recited the Shahada and accepted Islam. In that instant, I felt as if a weight had been lifted from my heart and my soul had been set free. Today, I can say that Islam has given me the peace I had been searching for since childhood. My heart is now connected to Allah, and I am confident that I am on the right path. So, what was my family's attitude toward me afterward? When they found out I had decided to accept Islam, how did they react? How did my friends and the people around me respond? Or, after becoming Muslim myself, how did I feel my life had changed? I will, inshallah, answer all these questions in the next video. Until then, bye.